I'm milling my new deck. I got my new deck here, and I'm milling it perfectly flat. So, there we go. Now, this is air, the valve here, and air is coming out there. Now, I've also got this hose that goes down in there. This hose comes up to this guy. I can adjust it up or down, and perfectly flat. Yesterday, I drilled all these Okay, so wow. This is becoming, oh my god. This is becoming the most epic cut of all time. Okay, so I've gone through an entire can of WD-40. My little oiler system is awesome. It works so well. But it's a long cut. I'm using a 4mm bit. So in essence, I'm doing 1/16 of an inch passes, like 1mm passes basically, 1.5mm passes. I don't know, very little passes, which is great. It's going to be an incredibly awesome table when it's done. Everything's going to be really, really flat, and you know, it's going to be milled really well. It's worth it. So I ran out of WD-40, and I was going to be damned if I lost the cut or stopped it midstream. You know, I'm milling the actual table, which everything else is going to be based on the table, so, you know, let's do it, right. I just started running through the shop. I found motor oil, and so I dumped motor oil in there, because the wrong lubricant is better than no lubricant, and it's the only thing I could find fast, so I got it in there, and it's, oh my god, it smells so bad in the shop. I just stuck a fan there, to try to pull some of the fumes out, but oh my god, it's so loud. Oh, and then I thought it was, my math was putting this at a 2-hour cut. I've speeded it up 50% over what I normally run the bit at, and it's going to be a 5-hour cut. We're at 3 hours now, but it gets progressively, each pass is longer because it's going from the inside out. So it's a god-awful mess. It smells. The air compressor's been running constantly. But damn it, we're making it through this cut, hell or high water. So, okay, let's go take a look. Phew, done. 5 hours and 52 minutes. It was nightmarishly long. Now, and the hi, and I have to do it all over again. Okay, just rocking here. I mean, it's just so flat and perfect. But there's a big fat goober right here. Goes all the way around. It's right there. You can see it. And that is when my oiler That's when I ran out of WD-40, and I just dumped friggin' motor oil in it because that's the only thing I had. And again, wrong lubricant is better than no lubricant, and it helped. For all I know, it could be the right lubricant. I don't know. I've never lubed a CNC machine. So my bit ran dry and clogged. That clogged right there, actually. And unbeknownst to me, the bit got shoved up in the collet, like, well, I could say something vulgar, but a very, very small amount. Let's just say that, thousandth maybe. So there's a little goober here, and aesthetically, it's goobery, which I don't like. And the rest of the cut, the pattern is so pretty and clean. And the bit was getting dull. I've got a ragged edge here along the perimeter as well. So it looks like I'm going to have to run this again. But this was pulled down. This was milled down 5/1000ths of an inch. Sorry, I take that back, 5/100ths of an inch, which was actually quite a bit. So we'll call that my rough cut. I think at this next time I can pull just a few thousandths off of it, a couple thousandths, and use a slightly bigger bit. I wanted to use a smaller bit because I figured if there's this jig, which needs to be rebuilt, but nevertheless it's very sturdy and rigid, and it's very, very accurate. It's as accurate as I can measure it. The slop is less than my ability to measure. That said, I'm sure it's off a little. So my philosophy was, if the bit was physically smaller, let's say it wasn't exactly 90 degrees, well, that's going to make less of a difference making smaller steps than, if I were to use a big fat bit that would emphasize how off it would be. So I thought that would culminate in a more accurate cut, which I think it did, except for this clog and this goober. But nevertheless, now that I've got a really nice flat rough cut here, I think I can go at it again. Slightly larger bit, less overlap, and a lot faster. I cut all this at 16 inches a minute, which led to a 6-hour cut. But all in all, I have got an incredibly gorgeous table now. Milled flat, certainly enough for all my sheet goods I can run. And actually, as a matter of fact, that is perfectly flat, and that is perfectly flat. They just happen to have a little step in between them. So as long as I'm smaller than that or bigger than that, or if I'm just cutting MDF, 1/1000th of an inch ain't going to make a bit of difference. So I'm going to go ahead and use this as it sits now, and then go ahead and do a remill on the table at some point. I don't know. That 6 hours was a long time to have this machine running and to babysit it. But all in all, there you go. Ting!